Morning. Oh boy, I'm tired. But the great thing about working for yourself is that you can schedule time for a nap. Oh, that'll be later today. Bad news, my coffee machine broke. Good news, I bought another one. Pow! A little plug for the Bun 4-minute 10-cup fast brew coffee machine. Nice, simple, easy to use. $120. The other one lasted about, I'd say 6-7 years. There's something cracked in the reservoir. But anyway, enough of that. I have been obsessed with this, and I'm going to talk about this sigmoid curve. Now, I've drawn it a million times. Right. This is what we have. We start out, we struggle, and then eventually something happens, and the story is over. A struggle, a team, odyssey, realization, yearning, right? Story. That's for you, the individual. There's a different acronym for a business. You don't want them to hit at the same time. You don't want them to synchronize. Let me give you an example. So back in the time of mills and making fabric, there would be all of this, tons and tons of warp, or basically string, side by side, and the string would have the weft that would weave through. And the whole thing ran on kid power, meaning that if one of those strings broke, boop, they'd stop the machine, find a little kid, look for the broken piece of string, find and tie it together, start up again. Well, I mean, that's a lot. It takes a lot of string to make fabric. And how are you going to? Anyway, somebody said, if you could invent a way to tie string in a hurry, whoever makes that invention is a genius. And so this guy figures out it's like a gizmo you hold in your hand. And when you lay two pieces of string across it and go boop, it would instantly tie a knot. Took him a while to figure it out. You lay the two pieces of strings, boop, knot tied. And then he needed some money to make the invention go. So I don't know if Barber was the invention and Coleman was the money, but the name of the company was Barber Coleman. Maybe the inventor and investor were switched around, but that was the name of the company that my uncle started working for. And this was when things were taking off. These were the good days. Woo, here we go. And then they got into injection mold sensors. So if you make anything on a mold and you think about, boy, I got to get plastic into each little crevice and nook and cranny, that's a special kind of sensor system that Barber Coleman specialized in. And that was the heyday, and then they were sold, and then were sold again. My uncle, then in his own personal life, got what was called at the time French polo. We might call it Guillain-Barré. And this gave him a partial paralysis. He shuffled terribly, and he eventually just rode around on a scooter. And it was a huge factory, building, owned by some outfit in England. And there were only 4 people left. 4 people. And while he was there, riding around in a scooter, there was just this sense of impending doom. I mean, the whole time, I think the outfit was on the market to be sold, but they couldn't find a buyer. So here we have, and this is the double whammy. Not only personally is he struggling with French polio, Guillain-Barré, that business is dead. It just hasn't stopped breathing yet. Right? You think you can control the narrative, but it's harder. You can control your narrative by yearning for the next stage, but you don't know when the bomb's going to drop as far as the job goes. Friend of mine worked at a bank, did a nice job, got on a Zoom call, and they said, "You are terminated." That's how they did it now. It wasn't a cardboard box, wasn't called into the manager. It was a Zoom call, and the person says, "Your position is terminated. We're logging you out. You can't log back on. Expect a check in the mail. You're done." Unbelievable. Fortunately for him, he had been yearning for his new life. And he saw that as a release from prison. Many times, people haven't started that process, and it hits them as a double whammy. All right. What am I trying to say? I said the other day that you're not cut out for it. I mean, it's very, very unusual for your job to be cut out to exactly fit who you are. It probably doesn't quite fit. So you and your spouse, you and yourself, you and your God, you sit down and say, what is next for me? And you start praying about that, and you start yearning for that. Because you're probably going to do that. And that will be freedom. It'll be a joyous experience. But you must prepare for it. Easier said than done, people say. That's why I do all of the training programs I do. All of them. I mean, just reach out to me. It could be a simple phone conversation, could be a master class. But the truth is that all things, all stories end, and all stories must start. And it's great to combine the two. And you have control in that. Okay? Anyway. There's always a new coffee machine, my friend. Go out and get it. I'm America's Storyteller. Here's another story there. Boop. And I will see you next time. God bless.